channel. Today I am so excited. I am doing a book video. I really want to start doing more book videos because I read a lot of books. So I thought I would do a summer book recommendations video. I am very excited, as you can tell by this video. Oh my goodness. So I have my pile here. Don't worry, it's coming. A lot of these books are romance books because that tends to be what I read in summer, and they're just kind of gonna be like all like easy beach books. Nothing's too dark and heavy. It's all very like light. Okay, let's start with the first book because we might as well just get into the video. Okay, I'm starting off with such a good one. This one is Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez. I'm butchering the name, I'm sorry. This book, oh my goodness, I read it at the beginning of this summer for the first time and it is beautiful. What got me with this book and what made me want to read it is there's this whole premise. She's always the girl that is with the guy before they end up with their wife. And she comes across this guy online who has the exact same situation. They kind of want to like reverse the curse and like date each other so they can find each other's like forever person. So that's what got me. I was like, that is just so, I love that idea. But I wouldn't say it's like a typical romance book because there's definitely like themes of, if you know about attachment styles, but like she is avoidant attachment. And like the main guy, Justin, is just so good with dealing with her with that. There's a lot of trauma in the book. So I will give like a trigger warning for that because there's a few issues with her mother and everything. So if that's not something that you're a fan of, then I don't recommend this because it's such like a big plot line. But yeah, she's like a travel nurse and she moves around constantly, never finding like her forever place. It's just so cute. I like the main guy. He has like younger siblings and he's just like so cute. And oh my goodness, okay, my favorite part about this book, the main guy, Justin, every time like they go on a date, he sends her a spreadsheet to go through like what she would want to like wear, where she'd want to go. And like he organizes everything. I wholeheartedly recommend this book. I will be rereading this again this summer. I love it so much. Okay, the next book is actually a series that everyone will have heard of. The Summer I Turned Pretty. If you follow me, then you know how obsessed I am with The Summer I Turned Pretty. I'm Team Conrad through and through, and if you've never read these books and never seen the show, you have no idea what I'm talking about. There is an Amazon Prime show, which is what I watched first, and then I read the books after. And it's currently airing at the moment, so get on it. This girl, Belly, her mother has a best friend. This best friend has 2 sons. So every summer, Belly and her family go to her mum's best friend's family house for the summer. It's basically like a love triangle, like which brother is she gonna end up with? And everyone has like a preference. You are not like in between, oh, I like both of them. Like everyone has a strong opinion over which brother is better. I would say that with reading the books, like I wholeheartedly recommend reading all 3, but they get better each book. I actually have a video up on my channel of me reading this one and I may have overreacted, but it was valid, okay? These books have absolutely no spice in them, and I love that. And they are just such fun summer reads. My next book recommendation is actually not a romance one. It's my only one that isn't a romance one, and it is Malibu Rising. I freaking love this book. So I went into reading this book having no idea what it's about. I was like, I know there's something to do with surfing and some mystery. That's it. Which is right. That is right. So there's this family and they live in Malibu. Nina is the main character in this book and she is a surfer and her whole family are surfers. A massive part of the plot is all about their father, like this family's father, and whether he's like a good or bad person. He's like this famous rock star. You just want to know what happens next. It basically keeps going back and forth in time. There's a storyline of this one day when Nina throws a party, and it kind of like, it'll be a chapter of 1 hour of that, and then the next one will be like a massive flashback to the past, and then the next chapter will be like another part of the hour in the day. You just like learn so much information as each hour goes by, but then you're seeing like flashbacks and they're not necessarily linked, but they are. And it's just, this book is so good. There's so much about like surfing and living on the coast and everything, so I definitely wanted to include it. Oh my goodness. I had no expectations for this book. I just picked it up in Asda, of all places, and was just like, it's a cheap summer book. Let's try it. Turns out this is probably one of my favourite books of all time. So it's called 7 Summers by Paige Toon. I laughed. I bawled my eyes out at the end. Who would have thought a book that looks like this? I had to sit down for like an hour and just process everything I just read. So basically this book is set across 7 summers. It's similar to Malibu Rising in terms of like going back and forth. One chapter will be like this summer, the next chapter will be like 6 summers ago, and you're just like learning more information as it goes on. You have no idea who she's gonna end up with. I was reading this book because there's kind of like 2 love interests, and honestly, I had no idea who she was gonna end up with. I'm usually like very good at predicting things and just being like, oh yeah, well, they're gonna end up together anyway. It's a romance book. This one, I had no clue. I love it when books do this. But it has like one of these playlist pages. Right, I need to actually explain the book, Harris. Focus. It is set in Cornwall, which is in the south of England. And basically there's this girl called Liv. She's gone away to university and then she goes to Florence. She's like an artist and she comes back. There's a bit of a tragedy. I don't know if that's spoilers, but I can't not mention it. And she ends up getting stuck in Cornwall. And this guy, Finn, he actually lives in LA, but he like returns to his family a lot of the time. But his like job, he's like a musician. He's like an indie musician guy. Every single summer he comes back and then this new guy comes along on the 7th summer and he's really nice and treats her really well and will actually live in Cornwall because Finn refuses to move to Cornwall because of his job. Okay, if you're gonna read a book. I look psychotic. If you're gonna read a book this summer, make sure it's this one. Make sure it's this one. Next book. Okay, this one is Beach Read. Emily Henry. Okay, everyone always is just like, Emily Henry this, Emily Henry that. I'm not like the biggest fan. I really loved the first half of this book. The second half, I wasn't too sure, but I still thought I'd include it in this video. The girl, January, in this is an absolute hopeless romantic. It's similar to like Better Than the Movies, where like she is just waiting for the one, her right person, and she thinks everything's always gonna work out. Oh my goodness, actually I really enjoyed this book now that I think of it. Okay, I wholeheartedly actually, I just think I was a little bit disappointed about how predictable the end ended up going, but I did love this book actually. Yeah, now I think of it. Okay, I do. Ignore everything I said before. I really enjoyed this book. Okay, this girl, January, hopeless romantic. She has to write this book that is like happy endings, but because of her real life, she doesn't believe in happy endings anymore. And then she meets this guy called Gus, who is like this really like cynical guy. Nothing ever works out, everything's wrong. And they challenge each other to like swap, not genres. Is it genres? I don't know. She writes like a more mystery style book and he writes like a hopeless romantic love story kind of book. Either way, I love the premise. I love the way it was set up. I think I was just like, I just got a bit bored halfway through. I really enjoyed it at the same time. Like I really did. And there's like a bit of a mystery alongside it. Like there's a bit more. It's not just like a simple, boring romance. Either way, okay, next book. This book is called A Day at the Beach Hut. Okay, this I wanted to include because it is so different from the other books. This is a collection of like short stories. So there's this beach and it has like a bunch of beach huts and it's set in, where is it set? It's set in Devon, which is also South England. Love Devon. And so it's set at this beach and there's a load of beach huts and it's kind of like a short story about each life and family in each beach hut. So it's like following along the different ones and they kind of like sometimes intertwine, but they are just such sweet, cute, easy reads. And there's also what I love about this book. It just has a load of recipes that like fit with each book. And I just love that. So I have a load, I don't really fold pages, but in this book I was like, I'm folding pages. And it's like loads of different recipes. But there's also like music recommendations and like, yes, film recommendations. There's like surf films, romantic comedy films. Like there's just so much. I just thought it was really cute and I had no idea what it was going into it. I really, really love this book. Okay, The Summer of Broken Rules. Oh my days. I enjoyed this book so much. I thought this was like a perfect summer book. So basically there's this girl called Meredith. She loses her sister, who was like her best friend. A year later after this, she always goes to Martha's Vineyard because like I think her family lives there. There's a lot of ties to her family and she goes there every single year. And then this year her cousin is having a wedding, so she's getting married. And so there's a massive collection of people. There's all of her family there. There's all of her cousin's husband-to-be's family there as well. So she meets this guy called Whit, but they basically make a pact to help each other because there's this game and it's kind of like a manhunt kind of vibe, and you all have to like a name of someone that you have to like shoot with a water gun and then you get their name. I sound like someone when they're explaining a game to me and it doesn't make any sense. So there's this massive game that everyone in the wedding party plays and you basically want to be like the last one standing. Okay, my camera just cut out of storage, so my camera just moved. He strikes up a deal with this guy called Whit and they kind of like have each other's backs and they're kind of like secretly, it's like a secret, keep it on the down low kind of, do they like each other, are they just friends kind of vibe. They only have like a week together because there's like the wedding festivities and that's kind of it. So you don't know how it's gonna end. I really liked it. I found it a very easy read and definitely feel like you're going on holiday this summer, even if it's like within your country or something. Like I read it when I went away and I thought that was like the perfect time to read it. So next book is Best Summer Ever, and it's by Heidi Swain. This is another very British book. It's set on the east coast of England. I think I really enjoyed this book because like the main girl, Daisy, she has absolutely no idea what she's doing with her life. Like she comes back home, I think her boyfriend's broken up with her, she loses her job, and she loses her accommodation. Like she literally loses everything and like comes back home to her parents. She just doesn't know what she's doing with her life, which I can relate. I have no idea what I'm doing with my life right now, so I really enjoyed this book. Like she kind of finds what job and what career and what her life is meant to be like, and it's kind of meant to have been like that all along, but she just didn't realize. She strikes up like a fling with this guy. I think this guy's American. It's kind of like, is it just a summer romance? Will it go on more? You know, blah blah blah, the typical stuff. There's also like a little plot twist that I didn't get. I honestly, I don't know how, like, towards the end, I was like, okay, this kind of makes sense. But, like, throughout the book, I was so confused. So, there's a bit of a plot twist in this book that it got me. It got me good. Either way, I really enjoyed this. And it gave me hope for finding direction in my own life. Yes. I've got my last book recommendation, and then I'll go through my TBR. I finished this book today. It is One Golden Summer. Of course. I had viewed this recommended so much. And I was just like, what is this hype all about? Like, maybe I should just like get the book. Get the book! These are my two favorites that I've read this year. So One Golden Summer, there's this girl. I knew from the first page of this book. It starts with, a great photograph will make you know the subject even if you've never met. A great photo reaches out and pulls you inside the moment so you can feel, smell, and taste it. And this, by all accounts, is a great photo. As someone whose main passion in life is photography, 5 stars straight away. I honestly think that Carly Fortune just went, this is a book for Karis, because it is set in Canada. The main girl, Alice, she lives in Toronto and she goes to the lake. Description, that was so bad. Her grandmother, she fractures her hip, and so she decides to go with her grandmother to the lake, and the last time she went there was like 16 years ago, so she's like so she was like 17. Either way, she meets this guy called Charlie, who's kind of like her next door neighbor-ish. Carly Fortune knows how to write flirting. I was literally there and I was just like giggling the entire time. The guy Charlie, I would say he's the perfect man. However, he is a player. So perfect book man, not in real life. This girl Alice and Charlie, they strike up like a friends situation where they're like flirting a lot, but they're friends and you're just like, where is this going? It is predictable. I mean, like I knew where it was gonna go, but I didn't know how. And there was a plot twist towards the end and you're like, oh, that's why he didn't want a relationship. That all makes sense. And there's so much about photography in the book and her standing firm and standing strong on like the kind of photography she wants to do and not people please the people above her. And it's a whole thing about her personality. I love Alice's personality, the girl in this book. I was like, I feel like I relate to her quite a lot. Those are my book recommendations. Woo! Now on to my TBR. So my to be read. So my next book is of course another Paige Toon one, the same author of Seven Summers. And this is actually my next read. And it's set in Wales, which is where I'm from. Some of the characters have Welsh names. I have a Welsh name. What if my name is in this book? She falls in love with this guy while she's traveling Europe, like while she's going to like Lisbon and Madrid. And then 6 years later, they kind of like meet again in Wales. Next book is this one. This is Same Time Next Summer by Annabelle Monaghan. She has a perfect fiance, stable job, and return home to pick a wedding venue. And then she comes across her first ever love. Oh my goodness. So her life is like set and then her first love comes back into her life. Oh, I'm excited to read that actually. These next two are by the same author, Philippa Ashley. I haven't read them yet, but they're both set in Cornwall. And then the last two, this is another, I don't know. It was also cheap in Asda. Goodbye to the boyfriend who never had her back and to the job she can't stand. Is this another one? Oh my goodness. This is similar to Best Summer Ever. When Regan gets pranked, she finds herself jobless, homeless, and boyfriendless in one fell swoop. And then she comes across a handsome fireman called Charlie. And then this is my last one. I started reading this a long time ago. So the guy, the love interest in this, reluctantly puts her in the friend zone, only to realize he's made a huge mistake. I don't know. Either way, I hope you enjoyed my book recommendation video. I got very passionate and I probably waffled and rambled way too much, but I hope you got some good book recommendations out of this and you're like, there we go, that's what I'm gonna get in Waterstones. That's what I'm gonna get on Amazon. That's the one I'm gonna buy in a local bookshop to help the community. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video and you got some good book recommendations, and let me know in the comments if you've read any really good summer books that you think I would enjoy or other people would enjoy. Make sure to comment that and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!